This week, we must figure out what is wrong with this big pile of garbagery. It has lots and lots of unattended issues. We must attend to them before I can go on the trip. I can't do it talking to y'all, so let us get busy. If you will recall, last time we worked on this thing, I put a new rear main seal in it, and it seems to be leaking a whole lot worse. Don't make any sense, but MLS never does. I have some ideas bouncing around in my head, though, of what could be going on. I don't think it's rear main seal. Not leaking that bad. Could be cam plug. I've already checked the back of the intake. Did that last week. It's not leaking. I don't know where else it could be coming from. There's nothing coming from the heads. The oil pan ain't leaking. I really don't know what it is, other than this is just a leaky pile of leakiness. You remember we had a water leak right here where the head and intake and block meets. Well, had to pull the intake back off. Well, I put it back on. I put lots of RTMV around the water hole there. Guess what? She still leaks. Yep, and she has an extra leak of Earl right there now. Yep. Leaking a little bit on this side too. I've always been told, Chevrolets, they're just a leaky pile of junk. Not according to this right here. Anyway, I'm going to ignore that leak because it's pretty small. We got to figure out what's going on in the back of the motor though. Here's what I think I'm going to do. Well, firstly, let me show you what I discovered. As soon as I walked in the door today, I thought, let's look at the PCV system. That stands for positive crankcase ventilation, if you don't know. Got a little valve over here that is connected to your vacuum on your intake, sucking in all the gases and fumes that get built up in the crankcase from blow-by. Blow-by is gases escaping past the piston rings. Happens on a brand new motor. Anyway, I thought, let's look at the PCV valve. Maybe it's not operating right, and it's causing a lot of blow-by, which will, force air out any place that it can find. And here it is right here. And I'm going to rattle it or shake it. You can hear it rattling. So it's not stuck. I don't mean it's, 100%, but it is not stuck at least. But upon further inspection, as soon as I pulled it off, actually as soon as I saw it, you see the shape of it here. It used to sit on top of the valve like that right there. I was trying to pull it off and broke it. The reason I was trying to pull it off is because you can see it's an F shape. It's basically a T. Well, this upper portion used to be capped. Well, it got broke off. I don't know when or how. But that's basically keeping this from actually operating like it should. And it's just a big vacuum leak. So I thought we'll pull that off and fix that. Well, then I got to thinking, I got brand spankingly new PCV valves over in the cabinet. So here's one right here. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put this back in that valve cover over there and hook the hose to it. And then we're going to jack her up. I'm going to clean all that Earl best I can. I'm going to fire it up. I'm going to let it sit here, 30 minutes, hour, and just see if anything starts dripping. I don't think it will. I think it's from spirited driving causes more blow-by, and that's shoving the oil out. I think that's when it's happening. But I just want to let it sit here for a good while, get warmed up, and let's just see if anything drips out. If not, well, then we will take it for a spirited drive, come back, raise it up, and see if we got any Earl leaking. PCV valve is installed and the hose is hooked up. Let's raise her up and clean all the Earls off the back of the motor the best we can. Then we'll let her down, fire it up. I got my whole camera out and ran it up in between the flex plate and the block, trying to see that cam plug. It's oily, but everything's oily right now. I tried to record with that camera and it's being stupid. So you'll have to take my word for it, but let's clean everything we can and start over, and then maybe we'll find the leak eventually. I don't know. Ain't got a clue. Well, that there won't even hardly spray. I gotta get up in there too. Ooh, in the eyeballs, that hurt. Yep, that hurt, man. Let's see if we can get up in here a little bit, some kind of way. Ooh, I am getting high as a kite on this stuff right here. Holy crap, holy, I sure am. All right, I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit. We'll let her down and start it up. Let it sit here for a pretty good while. Fire in the hole. Well, I sat here and ran for 1 hour. We got an itty bitty water leak right there. I think that's the upper radiator hose. Got something going on here, but I think that may be from earlier. And then we got this right here. It's either, ow, my head. I just gave myself a headache on that little air jack. Dang, that hurt. Anyway, where was I at? This little leak here. It's either transmission cooler line or power steering somewhere. We ain't concerned about them right now. What we're concerned about is back in this area here. Look on the ground. You don't see anything major. There's like 5 itty bitty drops here. There's 1 drop coming off of that adapter plate. Now I felt here, there's nothing. Felt over here, there's nothing. Felt up here, there's a wee bit of stuff. Felt up here, there's a wee bit of stuff. So it's coming from the top here and then running down. I don't know what it is. I really don't. But for it to not leak any more than that in an hour's time, that's not bad. I don't want it to leak at all, but you know, compared to what it was doing, it's not bad. But it sort of confirms what I was thinking. That is, it comes from spirited driving. But even, I mean, if it was the rear main, I don't see anything on that rear main. So I sort of think it may be a cam plug or something. I'll tell you what we'll do right now. Let's let her down, back her out. We'll drive around 4 or 5 miles easy, normal. We won't be doing no spirited driving. We'll come back, jack it up, see what we see. Then, if we don't see nothing major, we'll let her down. We'll do some spirited driving, come back in, raise it up, see what we see then. Wait a minute. Almost forgot. Whilst it was sitting here idling, I made me a bracket. Remember, power steering pump would just shake back and forth like crazy. Well, I made this little Z-bar bracket right here. I'll show you a before and an after Mucho Betero. Let's take her down the road. So let us go cruising. Come to the older feller's house, get some wire diagrams for that old Lincoln I've been working on. She's been here approximately 4 minutes. Got 2 big drops there. And 2 drops right there. And if you look at this aluminum plate, I don't know if it'll show up on video, but it's just streaming down it. Yep, all across it. So we don't even have to do spirited driving for it to leak like a sieve. So here's what we're probably going to do. We're going to pull the transmission out. I'm going to take that flex plate off. Let's just look at the cam plug, and I'm sure there's some other plugs back there. We'll look at the rear main seal. And I might even start it up, rev it up and whatnot, see if we can make it leak. Yeah, that's the only thing I know to do. Because I can't handle that. Nope. Well, I got everything loose. Gotta get this cross member out of the way. Then we can pull that transmission out and see what we see. Come on out, little buddy. Come on out, little buddy. There we go. I'm not sure it's going to fit between the exhaust. The dummy that built this exhaust, well, he was not paying attention. No, sir, he sure wasn't. All right, let's go down with it. Come on. Come on down. You're the next contestant here at Backyard Butchery, Capital Emporium, whatever of the world. Oh, wait a minute. It's hung on something. Stop. Oh, it's hung on the exhaust, you big dummy. Yeah, I'm going to have to take one of them loose. I guess I'll take this one loose. Let me do that real quick. See if it's exhaust. Hell, they won't come loose. Huh. What is going on? There we go. That didn't really help us much. Maybe I can push it out of the way though. All right, let's go down with it some more. You have to turn this jack like 7 times before it'll ever start going down. All right, here we are, fellas. We got a transmission out. I'm gonna raise her up, get that transmission just completely out the way. Come on, guy, come on, get out of there. If y'all will remind me, let's put that kick down cable, the new one, in that transmission before we put it back in here. All right, let me let her down and let's do some investigating. Gotta get this here little fella out of there. There we go. I'm just checking to see. That motor's pretty stable. We'll probably be able to run it like it is. So let's get this here off firstly. Let's get this here flex plate off. Well, that was easy enough. Well, I mean, it's got oil here around the gasket. I think there's a little bit running out around the seal. Maybe some up here too, though. And there's some right here. Could be the corner of the oil pan. There's some up here on the cam plug. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I have no clue. So we're gonna clean this up real good. Put the flex plate back on. I wish we could start it without the flex plate, but there really is no way to do that. Anyways, we'll clean it up, put that back on, start it up, and maybe we'll figure it out eventually. There's 2 plugs there. There's a little bit of Earl right there. We may pull them out and re-dope all them plugs. There's 3 of them there. Yep. And then we may try to clean these up. And that looks kind of early right there on that oil pan gasket. It's several places could be leaking. Hopefully we'll figure it out eventually. Let me spray her down with some carburetor de-rice cleaner. We'll let that dry. Hey, my light's falling. Let me get me a rag and wipe some of that off. Yeah, it's possible it could be leaking in several different spots. I may run it just a little bit and then pull flywheel off and see what we got going on. catch it early, before it gets slung everywhere. Also, and oh, by the way, I know several of you have mentioned it could be, oh my God, I got a big old whiff of that stuff. Woo, I'm high as a kite. I'll be back in a minute. Woo, goodness. All right, I have regained my senses. That was a pretty good whiff of that stuff. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, these bolt holes on the flex plate. Well, let me get me a screwdriver and I'll show you. Some of y'all have mentioned could be leaking through these bolt holes. No, sir, not on a 351. They are not through holes on 351. 289, 302 are, but not a 351. Anyway, let's get the flex plate back on it and we'll fire it up. Well, it's possible I may have just found the leak right here where your, what is this, oil pan meets the main cap and the block. Look right here. Let me get a screwdriver. Right there, there's that RTNV is peeling back. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that very well could be the leak. Well, let's just fire it up and see what it does. We'll just run it a couple minutes, then shut it off, take the flex plate off, and see what we got. I gotta open up the door before I die. Look at there! It spins! I'm gonna rev it up a few times and we'll shut her down. Let's get this here flex plate off. See what we see! Well, I don't see nothing except that little bit right there. Might have a little bit, but not much. Let me fire back up. I'm gonna let it sit here run a while. Surely we can find it eventually. Let's climb on up the ladder. We'll get in here and start it. I'm gonna let it run, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes this time. I shall return. Well, I ran it for 15 to 20 minutes and we have a leak. Let me get me a little pointing device. I don't know if the light is where y'all can see it or not, but right here where the cap meets the block, she's leaking a wee bit right there, and it runs down here and then runs down here, stops there. There's a little bit of liquid looking stuff on the bottom of the rear main too. I don't know if it's running from here into there or if it's actually leaking too. And then there's a wee bit of liquid right there, same place but the other side, where the cap meets the block. Right there where I thought it was going to leak. Not nary a drop, no sir. That's the only places I see. I don't see nothing on that plug. Nothing on them plugs there. So I'm gonna fire it up. I'm gonna wipe this off, fire it up, let it run again for, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or so. And I imagine we're probably gonna go ahead and order a remain seal and oil pan gasket. And I'm gonna say next time I see y'all, this little fella here should be sitting right over yonder on the engine stand. Yep. Just your weekly friendly reminder, if you would like to support the channel monetarily, well, you can do so through my Patreon channel. I post stuff over there from time to time. You might get a preview of what's coming up, stuff like that. Link to that is in the description down below. Also, if you would like to buy some merch, hats, shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, magnets, they got all kinds of stuff. Let's go check it out. Link for that is in the description below. Also, let's get back to work and get this thing hopefully leak-free. Do not adjust your TV or phone screens. This is not an illusion. No trickery is going on. Yes, the motor's out and it's on its head on an engine stand. Last night, after I turned the camera off, I dabbed a bunch of RTNV here, over here where it was leaking, and let it sit for a couple hours. Come back out, fired it up. 5 minutes later, she's leaking. So I said, phooey on Yui, we're gonna pull you out. So here it is. I've been inspecting it and I don't know where it's leaking. There's none in this area. There was none in this area. The only place I see any Earl is the seal. The seal is garbage, I guess. Well, the seal, the lip, rides about right there where the end of my fingernail is. Well, from here out is oily. Where did the oil come from? Because the seal is just a stupid, junky design. That's the only thing I come up with. Where I got a seal and what's that called? Oil pan gasket waiting on me at O'Reilly's. I'm gonna go get them, and we're gonna change it out. I'm gonna do something a little different, you know, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. Yeah, I am crazy, but I ain't insane. Anyways, let me go pick this stuff up, and we'll do it one more time. Well, I'm back from Ireland. They got me some fresh RT&Vs. Got a new rear main seal and what are they called? Oil pan gaskets. Yep. And I got some of this right here, anaerobic gasket maker. Here's why I got that. I watched a couple of videos last night on YouTube's of guys changing the rear main seals on 351Ws, and they used this. They put a little bit across this edge here, and I can see why, because that's chamfered a little bit right there on that edge, and it can let oil seep through here. Never had to do that on a Chevrolet. I don't know if Chevrolets is chamfered like that or not. I don't remember. Next time I got one apart, I'll have to check it and see. I also think you should probably put some across here, so I'm going to. And we're going to cock the seal, have a little bit sticking out. You know, they claim having the seal parting area and the main cap parting area together can cause a leak. I don't know if I believe that, but we got to try something to make this stupid thing stop leaking. Also on this anaerobic stuff, I don't fully understand this. All I know is anaerobic means lack of oxygen. And they claim you can put it on 2 pieces of bare metal and it'll cure and it won't leak. So that's what we're going to try anyway. So let me get over here on this old hunk of junk. We may change out the cam plug too. I may have noticed just a wee bit of Earls on it last night. We can either goop it up with RT&V or go ahead and change it. I found one last night. We may change it out. I ain't decided yet, but let me get all this old gasket cleaned up and get it ready to put back together, and I'll be back. Looking for a little bit of Earls to lube up my seal right here. Just the part that runs on the crank. Matter of fact, if I can find enough, we'll lube up the crank too. How about that? Oh yeah, look at here. All right, now we've been through this before, but you got a lip. It's an open side. Well, you want it towards the oil so you can catch the oil and make it not come out. I have not loosened up any of these main caps other than this one here. So will she slide in? Well, it looks like she's going to. See, I don't like that either. If that slides in that easy, I question whether it's sealing or not. Anyway, I'm going to leave, that's 1/4 inch probably, of the seal sticking up past this mating surface. That's what they tell me to do. And then, you have to do the same thing with this one here. Now what we got to do is get my anaerobic stuff and put some here and here, and put a little dab of RT&V here and over here too. Let me go get that stuff. All right, a little bit of dab of RT&V on the end of the seal, just like that right there. And then we'll put some just like that right there. I gotta go cut this. I got a knife. Yep. Well, I knew I'd do it. Well, it appears that I dropped the top of this down in there. I got some little finger grabbers. So they're right under the cam. Let me see if I can get it out. I tell you what, if it ain't one thing, it's something else. I do mean all the dad blame time. All right, can I get it? Well, I can't see it, so no, I can't get it. Where's that? There it is. Let's get on down in here. Nope, she just flew plumb out of sight. I tell you what, I'm fixing to lose it, man, I'm telling you. Let's get over here. I can't hardly see it over here. Maybe I can push it back over there. Then we'll come back over here. And, well, I don't see it at all now. So that's good. That's what I was aiming to do. I don't know where it's at now. I tell y'all what. It's stuff like this that makes me want to go get a desk job in an office somewhere. Yep. Well, I can't get the cap to that anaerobic gasket maker out. No, sir. It fell down the drain back hole. It's in the lifter valley somewhere now. That's the least of my worries, though, fellas. Let me tell you. Yep. Whilst I was looking for it, I rotated the crank over, trying to get the rods and pistons and crank pin out of my way. Well, I shine my light down in here looking for it, and, well, let me zoom in on that cam lobe, and, yeah, cam's got to come out. That's eat up pretty bad. That's probably from that dog bone that broke. It's just tore that lobe all to pieces. So, yeah, cam's got to come out now. Let me get the bottom end button back up. We'll pull the front end off and the intake and pull the cam out. And the hits keep coming with this motor. It blows my mind. I've never seen anything like it. Sure ain't. Well, I got her tore down, as you can see. Let's pull this cam out. See how bad it is. See if there's any other lobes messed up. I don't think it will be, but it could be. Well, there it is. Let me get in closer. You can see that one lobe there messed up. She's chewed up. Oh, yeah. Not real bad, but it is definitely chewed up. Here's the lifter that was on it. It's messed up too. See right there and there. I'm not sure if that's metal eating off this roller or metal from this stuck to this roller. Either way, we're going to get another lifter. Of course, we're going to get. I've done an order of another cam. I was waiting to order a lifter because I want to make sure that in there was eat up, and it is. We'll get one more lifter. I'm not going to throw this cam away, and here's why. It can be reground. I'll send it off to somebody. I say, look, I got one lobe that got messed up. Regrind that lobe, and then let me know what the specs are. If it's still going to be a decent cam, then yeah, go ahead and regrind the rest. Or just tell them, regrind that one and send it back. You'll have one cylinder, you'll be a little bit off, but I'll be willing to do that. Had to switch back to the new camera because my cell phone camera run down. I had to use the cell phone camera because this one here, for whatever reason, you can't get real close and get a good picture. See how blurry it looks? Anyway, like I said, I've got another cam ordered. I ordered the exact same one. I was going to try to find like a Howard's Crowder Trick Flow. None of them are in stock. I think what it is, this small base circle retrofit cam, there's just not a huge selection. They don't keep them in stock. So I had to go back with comp. Sure did. I didn't want to, man. That's a lot of money for a cam, but you do what you got to do if you're going to play. Oh, yeah. I'm going to tell you all this right now. I know you Ford guys are tired of hearing me bash Ford. Well, you just have to get over it. That's all I can tell you. I have never in my entire life had anything give me the trouble that this piece of equipment right here has. Some of it has been my fault, but not all of it. No, sir. This, I'm telling you, it's cursed from the devil himself. If I have to pull it out again, I'm going to sell the motor, take it to the scrap yard, something, and we're going to start with a new motor. I'm over this motor. I really am. As soon as the cam gets here, hopefully in time, to get it in this video, we'll put it back in, get the motor in, make sure we don't have any leaks now. I feel pretty confident about the leaks, but, I have felt confident before and I was dead wrong. But anyway, when it gets here, we'll put it in. Today's the next day again, and, well, I got my parts here. Actually, it's nighttime, as you can see. It's outside. Yep. Waited on this most of the day. Cam, that one lifter, got my gaskets. I had to run to Nashville for these ones because O'Reilly sort of messed up on ordering it. It wasn't going to be here till tomorrow. I said, no, sir. This thing is going to get put together tonight. My plan is to get it in this truck, fire it up, and check it for oil leaks before I go to bed tonight. That is the plan. Yep. Also, here's something that I was pondering last night or night before. I think it was the night before when I was editing the last of this video. Remember last week on the Dodge, we got it running, and I said something about things were going too smoothly, and I was scared to death that something bad was going to happen. Here's something bad that's going to happen. Yep. I'm telling you, MLS don't let up. No, sir. It's going to get you one way or another. That's the bane of my existence right now. But like I said, I want to get it put together in this truck, fired up before I go to bed tonight. I don't know if that's going to happen. Time will tell if that happens, but I can't do it talking to y'all. So let us get busy. Well, as you might can see, it's daylight outside. Yep, next day. Did not fire it up last night. I did get it put together, get it sat down in the truck. And I got to thinking, this thing is very leak prone, very, very leak prone. I thought, well, let's just let it sit overnight. Let the RTVs Loctite sit up. Maybe, we won't have as many leaks. Anyway, I got everything hooked up today. Fixed to hit the key, fired up. Fingers crossed. They cross them really good. That dad blame rear main seal ain't gonna leak no more. Fire in the hole. Well, you ain't gonna believe me unless I show you, but right there, them drops of oil. I give up, fellas. I don't know. The rear main is not leaking now. Where's my flashlight? Let me find it. I have looked all over there. It is not leaking. There's no liquid anywhere around that anymore. There's none up there. You see I gooped them up good with R10V because they were kind of hard to get out and I was afraid I'd break it. So I just said, no, we'll put RTV around it. The only place I see oil now is right here at the corner of the block. And it's up in there too, where the casting number is. I don't know what could be leaking right there. It's not coming from here. There's no oils. Let's see about right here. No oils. Nothing out there. It's like it's dripping straight down. I don't know. I don't know what to do at this point. Unless the oil pan, I didn't get it tight enough. Let me tighten these up and see. That's plenty tight. Yep, plenty tight. Let me check some more on up in here. I mean, I'm getting maybe a quarter turn out of them. Let me change my socket. That end one there's 1/2 inch. tighten up on it a little bit. No, sir. I don't know what to do at this point. I don't know where it's coming from. But we've got this part here solved. There's no oil anywhere to be found. That's awesome. I evidently had 2 leaks. I don't know. That's not all though, fellas. It dripped. Them drips just in 10 minutes. The thing tried to overheat. The thermostat, for whatever reason, didn't open. So I shut it down, and then 2 minutes after I shut it down, it finally opened, and man, the water just started boiling. But wait, there's more. See this big puddle here? Well, I thought it was leaking Wooders from somewhere. Raised it up. Well, I smelt a strong smell of gasolines. Fuel pump has decided to start leaking. Don't know why. It's maybe a year old. Ain't got a clue. No, sir. So that's another leak we got to worry about. This here, I don't know what to do about it. We have got this solved, but where this is coming from, ain't got a clue. I'm a little bit perturbed right now because I'm sick of this truck. It won't quit leaking oil, water, gas. It don't matter. It won't quit leaking. I don't know what to do about it. I'm going to go in the house, calm down a little bit because I'm starting to get mad. And I'm going to come back. I'm going to try to find the oil leak. And then I guess I'll have to get another fuel pump. I have successfully calmed down for now and did a little investigating. The only thing I can think of where the Earl's coming from, this valve cover. Yep. Fixing to pull it off. We're going to RT&V both sides of that gasket and put it back on. Whilst the RT&V sets up, we're going to go to Ireland and warranty this fuel pump. So let me get that valve cover off real quickly and get her RT&V'd up. All right, let me look at it. There's some Earls right there on the outside around that bolt hole. Let me get a fleece leak and look down in here real quick. I don't really see any evidence. Well, yeah, I do too. It's just not sealing. There's Earls getting by the gasket. Let me see what they've got, and I may try to go with a different gasket. Yep. Well, I'm back from Ireland. Got me a new fuel pump. Let me see if I can get this fella installed very quickly, and maybe that will get rid of at least one leak, hopefully. All right, let me get my lines hooked up, get the power steering pump put back on, and we'll be done with this. Fuel pump is installed. Power steering is back on too. Now let's turn our attention to what I'm hoping is the last leak that we have to deal with. I got me some different valve cover gaskets. They're the Fel-Pro. I don't know what they're made out of, but they got to be better than these cork ones. Where did it go? It's over here. This is what I had on it, and they're mashed pretty flat already. Ain't been on there just a few months. And this was the bottom side. I don't know if y'all can see. Yeah, see all that shiny right there? That's the Earls coming up under the valve cover. Well, actually, this is the bottom side. This is what was towards the head. I'm hoping that's what the issue is. The other side don't look too awful bad. A little wet right in here, but anyways, we're going to do this right here with them. Let me put these on, and I'm going to wipe all the oil I can find off. We'll fire it up again and give her another try. Let us get us, this is valvus coverus onus. OSKS, OSKS. Also, oh, by the way, before I forget, they do have a certain way they go. This says cover side. I'm assuming that means valve cover. That's how I'm going to put them on anyways. All right. Let me hand tighten them, and then I'll get over and do that other one. Well, here we are once again, fixing to fire this thing up, crossing our fingers and our toes and everything else, hoping we got the leaks fixed. Both valve cover gaskets are changed. I've wiped everything off that I can get to. I wiped the floor off, so if we have any drips and drops, I'll know that. If this fixes our leak issues, I'm going to dance. I'm going to do a jig right out here in the middle of the shop. You just watch and see. Anyways, let's see what we got. Fire and hold once more. What's going on with that? Oh, I just might need to put the flex plate back on. Yep. I tell you what, if my head wasn't attached to my body, I'd forget it somewhere. Sure would. Now that the flex plate is attached to the motor, let's see if it'll fire up now. Fire and hold again. I'm gonna let it sit here and warm up. Hopefully the thermostat will open up, it's gonna act right. We don't want it running hot. Looks like I need to add a little bit of antifreeze already. Whilst we wait on it to warm up, let's head on back here. Y'all listen to the song of my people. Not bad at all. Well, it just quit on me. It'll fire back up, but it won't stay running. There's a good chance it's out of gasolines. It loves the gasolines. I took the breather off. Let me get up in here. Let's see if we got any kind of pump shot. If not, well, we're out of gas. Oh yeah, we're out of gas. The back two barrels are squirting, but not the front ones. So, I reckon let's go ahead and raise it up. It's ran, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. Let's raise it up and see if we got any leaks. The moment of truth is here. Am I gonna cry or am I gonna dance? Well, y'all look in there. There's no drips of Earl on this right here. There's nothing at all. I ain't got no leaks. I ain't got no leaks. I can't dance, but I ain't got no leaks. I had to catch my breath after that. That's a whole lot of exercise for a fat boy. It sure is. I went ahead and took off the flex plate because I didn't want to be celebrating prematurely. No, sir. And let me tell you, I have wiped my finger everywhere possible. There is no Earl. There is no Earl. There is no Earl anywhere on the back of this motor. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. Thank you, and good night. Yes, sir. I'm a very happy camper right now. Still don't like Fords, no, and I hate this truck. But, yes, I'm happy right now that we don't have any leaks. You just don't know the nightmare that this little fella right here's been. Whoo-wee, my goodness gracious. I'll go get some gasoline somewhere. I'm telling you, it loves gas. Yeah, it gets. If I had to guess, I'd say probably 5, 6, 7 miles to the gallon. It's awful. Anyways, I'll go get that tomorrow. Tonight, the rest of the night, I'm gonna put the transmission back in it, and that's what we're gonna fool with tomorrow. I'm not gonna show y'all putting that back in. You've seen me pull it out of this truck more than once. Yeah, I ain't gonna make you sit through that. But tomorrow we are gonna adjust on the transmission. I'll talk more about that tomorrow. But before I go, let me bring something up real quick. Like several of y'all commented, I was trying to get the distributor to act right last time we worked on this. And, my advance ain't working just right. Several of you commented on not having the vacuum advance hose hooked up. Must be some confusion on there. Vacuum advance is not needed. It's just... Well, you look at it as extra timing. Matter of fact, when you are setting your timing, you do that right there. You unplug your vacuum advance. You don't want that affecting your mechanical. Once you get the mechanical set, what you do is this right here. And there is a big debate on whether you want this hose hooked up to ported or manifold vacuum. I put it on ported. Well, it just depends. I'd put it on both. But anyway, you hook that hose back up after you get your mechanical advance set where you want it. Then there's a little, I don't know if it's Allen head or a little fat head screw up in this canister. You can adjust the amount of vacuuming vents you get. But no, sir, you do not have that plugged in when you're setting your timing. Anyways, I'm gonna get all this stuff put back in this truck, and I reckon I'll see y'all tomorrow. Well, I just got back from the store getting me some gasolines to put in this thing right here because it loves drinking it. It's an alcoholic is what it is. Anyway, what we're going to work on today, shift points on the transmission. Shifts way too soon. Park throttle and wide open throttle. Park throttle, we're in third gear by 15 mile an hour. That's a little ridiculous. Wide open throttle is shifting about 4,500. I wouldn't mind it to be about 5,500. I'm mostly concerned with the park throttle shifting right now, though. Let me get under here and show you what we got to do about that. It's called a governor. It's in this cover right here. You just pop this little bail off. That cover should come off, and you just pull the governor out. It's got weights that sling out and operate a little valve in there. Well, we got to lighten up them weights. So let me get that off there real quickly, and we'll go to looking at it. Why will it not come off? I don't understand this. All right, maybe that'll work. Now let me pop this here cover off. Let me pop this here cover off. Well, excuse me, I did not mean to kick y'all, but you're in my way, so get out of the way. I'm gonna have to do something different here. I don't know if y'all can hear the thunder rating outside, but we got a storm line coming through. It looks pretty doggone bad. I'm hoping we don't get nothing major out of it, though. We have gotten a lot, and I do mean a lot of rain in the last couple weeks. Well, I didn't know this was going to be this hard to get off. Yep, there comes the transmission fluid. I jacked the back end of the truck up hoping this wouldn't happen, but apparently I don't have it up high enough, so yep, there she comes. I'll have to go to town and get some transmission fluid before we can ever test this out. Yep. Well, if that ain't something to tell the captain right there. Let that drain, then I'll get that out. Well, I think she's done draining for now. So let's pull this here governor out. Just like that right there. Let's go over to the table, have a look-see at it. Well, I've tried this once, but the rain was so loud beating on the roof that I doubt y'all could have heard me. So I'm doing it over again. I got her tore apart. Here is the weight assembly. It goes like this. Up in there. Here's a little spool valve that goes inside of here. It's got a little bitty hole right there. You'll make sure that is not stopped up. And then here are the parts of this tore apart. That's the top, not that one. Here. You got your big weight, inner weight, and spring. What you want to do is grind some off the corners of this small weight. It don't take a whole lot, just a few grams. I want to weigh them and see what they are, and then weigh them again after I grind them, you know, for future reference. That they're showing 10 to 11 grams. Well, now it's showing 9. This thing it's lost its mind. It's showing 11 there. Wonder what this other one weighs. Let's see if I can get it apart. It weighs 11 grams. All right. I'm going to grind. I don't really know how much. I'm going to grind some off each corner or both of them. I don't have any springs, so we'll have to use them back. And we'll put it back in the truck. I would like to take it for a test drive, but I'm telling you, it's coming to nerve flood right now. It's lightened up a lot from what it was a minute ago, but yeah, it's just, there's a river flowing through my backyard. Yeah. Anyway, let me grind all this, get it back in the truck, and maybe the rain will hold off. Well, I got to go get transmission fluid firstly, because we lost quite a bit. Anyway, let me grind this, go to town, get some transmission fluids, and then maybe we'll take it for a test drive. I really don't know how much to grind off. We're gonna just take off that much and see what it weighs. As you can see the difference, the one on the right's one I just ground. It weighed 11 grams, and it now weighs, well, let's fire this thing back up firstly. It weighs 10 now. I took about a gram off. Let me grind this one to match it, and we'll put it back together. Got it back together. Everything moves freely, ain't nothing stuck. These pins, I told you, I read that you use a 4-penny nail. Well, a 4-penny is a little too small. Here's a 6-penny, it's a little too big around. Well, I found these coated sinkers. They're just about right. Need to be a little longer, but they'll do for now. Because we got to pull this out several times, to keep fine-tuning it. I did sand the coated stuff off of them, I didn't want to take it in the transmission. Anyways, let us put this back in the truck. I got to run to Walmart's and get some, transmission fluid. When I get back, we'll fill her up, and if it ain't raining real bad, we'll take her for a test drive. Well, I almost lost my life going to town, but I managed to make it back in one piece. I'm telling you, we are getting lots and lots of rain. Last couple weeks, it's been terrible. Creeks are fixing to come out of the bank, the river, down Riverside Drive. It's already come out of its bank on one side of the river. Pretty bad. The roads, they can't shed the water. Well, I hit 2 ruts there that were plumb full of waters, and let me tell you, I thought it was a goner. Yeah. Luckily, I made it home. I got my transmission fluid. And here's what we got to do before we can take this thing for a test drive. Of course, we got to put the gasolines in it. Then we got to fire it up, let it warm up. Check the transmission fluids after it warms up. We got to put the hood on it because rain, I don't want my air filter waterlogged. But before we put the hood on, there's a piece of weather stripping I bought a month or 2 ago that goes across there. When it's sitting outside and it's raining, the rain will come in down through here. It just soaks the engine bay, and water will be standing on the intake. I don't want that. I think that's what that piece of whatever is for, to keep that from happening. So we got to put that on, then put the hood on. There's some other stuff that I want to experiment with. I'll tell you about that later. But yes, we got lots to do before we can ever hit the road with it. What's my old saying? There's always something to do before you can do something else. Something like that. One of y'all probably know it. You'll remind me in the comments. Anyways, let us get busy. Endeavor to persevere. I have to keep telling myself that on this truck right here. Put 5 gallons of gas in it. That's as far as I got. Yep. I've been trying to start it for 15 minutes. I filled the bowl and the carb up twice. Ran it out twice. Fuel pump refuses to pump. Nope. Brand new fuel pump. Remember we bought that, put it on a couple of days ago. I don't know what to do with this truck. I have never in my entire life encountered anything like this truck. I used to work in maintenance as an industrial mechanic and electrician at a company that, well, they didn't believe in buying new machinery. The machines were 50, 60 years old. Just wore completely out. None of them had ever given me the trouble that this piece of garbage has right here. I give up. Let me look around town, see if anybody's got a fuel pump. I doubt they do. I'd probably go to Nashville and get one, but I'm not going in this rain, this weather. So we may be done until Monday. Yep. It's just, it blows my mind. I've never seen anything like this truck. Got the fuel pump out, and y'all watch this right here. I've never been able to do this with just one finger. Just easy. I can use my pinky. It's so weak. I don't know, something happened inside. I found one town over, about a 30-minute drive. I'm going to go get it in maybe around midnight tonight. We might get to take this thing for a spin. I don't know. I'll be back in a little while. Well, I braved the weather. We ain't got a fuel pump. It is on. Maybe this will last a little bit longer than 2 days. Let's fire it up, get it warmed up. Check your transmission fluids, and let's keep on working on this pile of junk. I will probably retire and still be working on this thing right here. Here we go. Here we go. Is she going to fire up, or is something else going to break? Come on, man. It ain't warmed up yet, but I just want to see where we're at. Well, About to die on me. You aggravating son of a gun, you. Acts like it's flooding out real bad. I ain't got a clue, man. I get really, really wet down in there like it's flooding out. I just tell you, I don't know anymore. I don't know. I'm gonna quit my job because apparently I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know, start digging ditches, I guess. Yep, gas is just pouring out of this. Yeah, I give up. I give up. See this right here? Throwing in the towel on it. I don't know how well y'all be able to see that, but it's just wet as it can be down in that carb. And right before it died on me, I got up here to be able to look down in it. Gas just pouring out of the two boosters. I don't know, man. My endeavor is persevered out. It sure has. Yeah. Well, I've calmed down. Not a lot, but enough to be able to work on it without, losing it and just taking a hammer to it. Pulled the front bowl off, looking for dirt. There was nothing in there. Nope. Took some carb cleaner and sprayed out the needle and seat area. Maybe there was a little piece of trash in there. Of course, I tore up my new gasket that we put on, a month ago. Some of y'all had reminded me that back in the olden days, you put chapstick on there. Well, I ain't got no chapstick, but I did use Vaseline, so maybe it won't tear that new one up. Let me fire it up, see what it does. If it's still flooding out, I ain't got a clue unless this new pump is putting out too much pressure and it's overcoming the needle and seat. It's a possibility. Anything is a possibility with this truck. Sure is. Yep, there it goes. I don't know. Ain't got a clue, fellas. I'm going in the house. I'm done. I'm on a Monday, I guess, when I come back out here to work on this. We'll try to rig up a fuel pressure gauge on the line, see if that's what the issue is. I'll see you on Monday. 'Tis Monday, and you can see it's still here. Yep. I ain't gonna lie to you. Y'all know I don't try to hide nothing. What you see is what you get with me. I ain't fake. I was quite angry Saturday night. That's why I just shut the camera off, went in the house. If I'd have kept fooling with this Saturday night, yeah, I'd have probably literally took a hammer to it. Yes, I was quite angry. I'm just fed up with it. Well, I had done convinced myself that we were going to pull this motor out. Either sell it, sit it over in the corner or something, and I was going to build a 350 Chevrolet motor for it. Done convinced myself of it. A few hours later, I'd calmed down. I said, no, you done spent too much time trying to figure out all the little stuff wrong with it. Way too much money on it to just quit on it. Yeah. In other words, we're going to keep working on it. In other words, endeavor to persevere. Much as I hate that right now, that's what we're going to do. We're going to figure it out. Matter of fact, I've already checked the fuel pressure. Remember I told you Saturday that fuel pump is probably putting out too much pressure. I mean, it's logical. You put a new fuel pump on it and then your carb starts flooding. That's the only logical thing to think. It's putting out too much pressure. It is. I'll show you right here. It is pegging out a 10-pound gauge. Literally, it's got a peg. The needle hits it, it's pegged out. So it's making at least 10 pounds of pressure. Holley carbs are rated for, I think, 7 max. So yeah, it's overcoming the needle and seat and just flooding it. I'll show you in a minute how we're going to remedy that. But you might be wondering, why in the world is it in the air if we're going to be working on the carb? Great question. Glad you asked. Let me show you why. Y'all look here in the floor. There's one puddle. There's another puddle. Still got leaks. Yep, that's why it's in the air. Let me show you here. So you got some Earl dripping off of our little plate there. And we got oil coming off the cross members dripping right there. That's new. Yeah. We still have the old leak. Now we have a new leak too. It's awesome. Yep. I danced prematurely, I guess. Yeah. Some of this was gas because this puddle here was a lot bigger. You smell it. And I figured it would evaporatize, you know, in just a little while. And it did. But it left 2 oil puddles. I knew this one. I saw this one Saturday night. I wasn't sure about this one. Well, now that I see that it's got oil that didn't evaporatize, yeah, still got an oil leak somewhere. It's possible that it's still valve cover gaskets. I can see oil on the new gaskets on both valve covers. It's possible it's still that. And the only thing I know to do there is check those valve cover gaskets for straightness. If they're not straight, we're going to have to make them straight. But I'm not worried about that right now. Let's get the thing where I can at least drive it, run it and drive it, and check out and see what our modifications on our governor has done. Here's how we're going to fix the fuel pump pressure issue. I bought this today at O'Reilly's. It's fuel pressure regulator, inline, non-return. There's your in, there's your out. Put a gauge right here. We're going to set it to, I don't know, 5 or 6 PSIs. That should do just fine. Trying to figure out where exactly I'm going to put it. Probably right here. Cut this line. Have the regulator right here, and then just run a hose on over to here. Well, I got to put my filter in line though too, and I want it before the regulator. So I reckon I can still do it like this. I'll just do filter, regulatory device, and then run it into the carb. Yep, that'll work. Let me get this done. I'll be back. We'll fire it up. I got to reset the float level on this front bowl because I was fooling with it Saturday night when it was, you know, flooding. I have to set that, and then we'll take it for a while. I got to warm it up, check fluid in the transmission. Then maybe we can take it for a drive and see if our modifications done anything. Let's cut this fuel line approximately right here. And then we'll put our filtration device right here. Then I gotta seal up all the threads on this. Let me do that real quick. Go ahead and hook her up right here. Hook her up right here. Get this out of the way. I'm gonna tighten up my clamps, and then we can start her up and set the fuel pressure. Now what I'm gonna do is take my little dual inlet feed off. I had to take this loose Saturday night to get this front bowl off. That's where the gas came from that was running down, down the motor. Anyway, I put it back together. This one was leaking again. This fitting here, so I'm gonna take them off because I bought some Teflon or whatever seals. We're gonna get rid of these steel ones. Maybe that'll make this quit leaking. I don't know, probably not, but got to do something. Let me show you what I'm talking about. That little seal right there, it's metal. Well, it looks like it may be coated with something, but it's garbage. It's just garbage is what it is. Let me get them Teflon ones and show you what it looks like. Here are the Teflon seals. They just go just like that right there. We put this one on. I got to do the back one too. Maybe that'll solve this leak. Here are the Teflon seals. They just go just like that right there. We put this one on. I got to do the back one too. Maybe that'll solve this leak. I don't know if I told y'all this or not, but we had leaks here and that fitting. Well, I reflared these lines. This line is really hard, and it didn't want to hardly flare. But I bared down on it enough that I broke my flaring tool, the handle on it. But that seemed to fix that issue. I think it's a pretty common issue with these dual feed lines, and that's probably what it is. It's not flared correctly, and then when you tighten it down, that steel is so hard that it won't go on and conform to this other fitting, and then it leaks. That's my theory anyway, and I'm sticking to it. All right, let's fire it up, set our fuel pressure. It's bouncing around, but that looks like it's probably 11-ish. Let's run her on down. There's 8, 7. We'll put it on about 6-ish. That should be enough. I'm putting the plug back in the side of this bowl. I had to reset the fuel level. Still got a leak back here. It ain't bad, but it's still leaking. I've never seen a motor leak more than this one right here. About 5 3/4 to 6 psi. That should do. It's not flooding out, so that's awesome. Got float level set. Still got a very minute leak back here on the back bowl. I ain't gonna worry about it right now. Let me check the transmission fluid. We'll take her for a spin. Raised it up so I can wipe everything off before we head down the road, and come back and raise it up, check for leaks. Well, pretty sure I know where the leak's coming from now. It's valve covers. Yeah, let me show you. You can see right here on the block, got Earl dripping. I don't think it's been dripping from there before. We follow it on up, and it's oily right here. Follow it on up, you can see it. Barely a line coming down the head from the valve cover gasket. That tells what the problem is. So I do believe the rear main is fixed now, because I've never seen oil on the outside of the block like that. Yep. We'll have to work on that here in a little bit. I'll be able to tell very quickly if it's going to shift better or not. So we're going to take a short trip down the road and then come right back, I imagine. If I didn't take but an ounce off, I don't think that's going to be enough. All right, here we go. Second, third. Yeah, it ain't no better. Let's head back to the shop. And, well, I got something I want to experiment with real quick. I'll explain that when we get there. All right, here's what's going through my little pea brain right now. Remember me telling y'all Saturday night that if this didn't change it, the first time we ground on the governor weights, I was going to try to experiment with something. Well, this is what I want to experiment with. We don't have the kickdown cable hooked up. It's right here. I put that new one on the other day when I had transmission out. Well, that's not like a TV cable on the 700. Remember the Jolly Green Giant, you have to have it hooked up on the 700 or you'll burn the transmission up because it controls line pressure. This one don't. It's just a kickdown cable. That's all it is. But when transmission shops delete that cable, well, inside there, the valve, it's like a two-stage valve. It's got a weak spring and then a stronger spring. Well, they'll push the lever in till that weak spring is all the way in. Then they'll tie the cable off to a bolt head. And I've never heard them say why. I'm just wondering if that has something to do with the way it shifts too. So what we're going to do is, since I got this cable hooked up, I can feel right there is the first of the first stage. Well, you keep pulling it, and then it gets hard right there, and then you can pull it. Well, maybe not. Let's see. Okay, I got it figured out now. That's the slack. And then I get tension a little bit, and there's all the tension out of the first stage. And there's the second stage there. What I want to do is pull it right there and wire tie it. And, get it into the first stage of that valve. And let's just see what happens. I don't know, but I do like to experiment. That's how you learn, fellas. It may not change a thing, and it may shift differently. We're fixing to find out. All right, let me get my wire tie around it. Just like that right there, and then I'm going to pull till right, there is the end of that first stage. We're gonna lock her down with that wire tie. Hopefully it don't slip. Yep. Let's try it like that right there and see what happens. All right, let's see if that did any good at all. Second, third, no. Did not make a difference. Nope. Well, let's pull the governor out and grind some more on it. Well, it appears, you know, that had no effect on the shifting parts. We ain't worry about that right now. I would like to get that kick down cable hooked up eventually, but it's not a priority. What is a priority right now is getting this thing where it ain't in third gear by 15 mile an hour, or sooner actually. Anyway, I've ground some more off of them, and well, I took quite a bit off this time, but this here is going from 8 to 10. That's just, I don't think my scale is very accurate anymore. This other one here, I think it's about 9. Well, it's still showing 10, and I took quite a bit off. There, it finally went to 9. We're going to try this, see what it does. Also, let me say this. I'm sure some of you by now have commented, you need to be working on the vacuum modulator. No, sir. Sure don't. Well, one thing, I've already turned that vacuum modulator 5 turns. Had no effect on it whatsoever. Did some reading on that. From what I understand, the vacuum modulator, it might change shift RPM, 100 RPM, that's going to be it. It mostly will affect how firm it shifts. So I think I'm fixing to back her back off a little bit because it shifts firmly enough already. And then we'll put that governor back in there and take her down the road again, see what happens. What do I do this time? Second, third, ain't no better. No, sir. Let's run it down the road, down the highway. Do a wide open throttle run, see if it's affected that any at all. It was shifting around 4,500 before. Let's see what it does this time. I better hurry up before I get run over. Nope. It went second, third immediately at about 4,500 miles an hour. So we've done nothing. Let's head back to the shop. Well, that didn't work at all. I just went in the house and did a little more research on this because there's not a whole lot of information on what weights do what and all that, or, you know, the weight of them and when it shifts, which, you know, every vehicle is going to be a little different, but there should be, you know, a guideline. B&M has a kit, a recalibration kit. It's got several of these weights in it and several different springs. And I found that, read it, and, well, it don't help you. So I got on Summit's website. I read the reviews on that B&M kit. And, well, I found this right here. This is a review from one of the guys. And he's got quite a bit of information. Whether or not he knows what he's talking about, I don't know. But that's the best information I have found. I ain't going to read it to you, but he's claiming there's 2 different governors. And he's saying you go by the gear colors, a green or a blue. Well, this ain't green or blue. It's a tan, faded yellow. There's yellow right there. So maybe it's a faded yellow. I don't know. But he said the blue one was the high performance. The green was the standard. Well, he had a picture of both of them. And he called these the baskets. And then the small things I've been grinding on, the weights. The baskets on the performance governor basically got a big old window cut out here. Make it lighter. It shifts later. Well, he claims that the base one shifts at 4,200, which ours is doing 4,500. And the performance one shifts at 5,200. He even gives the weights of the baskets. These, the base ones are supposed to be 41. According to him, well, mine are 45. It's close enough. That there's 44. And then the performance ones are 31. Let me see, where's that at? No, they're 30 grams. So here's what I'm going to do. Ours are 44. I'm going to drill, I don't know, a quarter, 5/16 hole in it. Weigh it and see how much weight we lost. And then I'm going to get it down, I don't know, we might go down to like 35 grams, see what it does. But let's drill a hole in it and see what we got. Weighed 44 grams before. I drilled 2 5/16 holes and it now weighs 41. It was showing 40, it was 42 now. I don't know that I trust this scale, But I'm going to leave it like this. I'm not going to do the other one. Let's take her down the road, see what it does. Last try. Let's see what happens. About the same. I gotta go get gas. When I get back to the shop, I'll tell y'all everything I did. What does it do wide open throttle? Same thing. Second, third. Just as soon as it hits about 4,500 miles an hour. We've changed nothing. Well, I don't know why that doesn't change anything, but it didn't. I'll show you right here how much I drilled out and what it weighed. Well, I drilled each one of the big weights 4 times. It ended up being about 38 grams a piece, and nothing changed. 1-2 shift is exactly the same. 2-3 shift, maybe a tad bit later, but not much. And then wide open throttle, if it changed at 100 RPM, you know, I'd be surprised. I ain't got a clue. Par for the course for this pile of junk. Yeah, I mean, it don't make sense why it didn't change it. Ain't got a clue. If I had a shifter, I wouldn't worry about it. I'd just shift it myself. I'd downshift it myself. But that column shift, I have went from 2 to 3, you know, running through the gears pretty hard, and I'll miss 30 and put it up in neutral and then rev it to the moon, and I can't do that, no sir. It ain't got a rev limiter on it, and I'm afraid I'm gonna blow it up. So eventually we may put a shifter in it, but they're kind of expensive, and we can't afford that right now, but yeah, eventually we will. Still got to put the hood on it, and I'm gonna fool with these valve covers because that is our last leak that I can tell. The one on the cross member here, it's most likely valve cover. It's coming down, and I think it's going in between the motor mount and the block. So next day or two, I'll pull them off and see if I can't true them up and get them good and flat. But we're out of time, fellers. I got to wrap this video up. Like I said, it's, you know, par for the course for this thing right here. Yep. I can't even, you know, as soon as I get straightened out, it's in second gear. So I'm basically, when I punch it, I'm leaving in second gear. Yep. If you leave in first gear, you know, from a standstill, as soon as it hits about 4,600 RPM, it shifts to second and then right to third. So you're basically taking off in third gear if you know, got it on the floor. That ain't no count. No, we're going to have to put a shifter on it sometime. That's on down the road. Yeah, I ain't gonna worry about it. I guess, though, I'm a glutton for punishment. Next time you see this garbage on wheels, we'll be heading to my trip. Yep, so be looking for that. Anyways, appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind, hit that like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. And until next time, go do something. Blur, blur.